My name is Paul Lorenzen, and I'd like to share with you a transaction we just recently completed. It was a rehab flip transaction of a single-family dwelling in a small farming community in Oregon. And we found it by virtue of a contact we had knowing about a tax lien on a property. We approached the owner and offered to lend him the money to cure his problem. He didn't want to do that. We offered to joint venture with him. He didn't want to do that. So we offered him a couple $1,000s to walk, and we'd take over the property and pay off the tax liens. And transaction went down smoothly from that point forward. Our actual cost into the property was about $8,500, including closing costs. I'd like to have you have a tour of the property now, and then we'll share with you the outcome.
Okay, this is our recent acquisition, 203 Vine Street in Richland, and you can see it is definitely a fixer-upper, and it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1920s vintage home that has a very nice garage built in the 1990s in back. We'll look at it in a second. You can see from this side view that it's been neglected for quite some time. Needs paint on the exterior and needs a new roof. We estimate a budget of about $15,000 to fix it up, and we'll take a look inside now. And this is the interior. You can see we're getting a lot of personal property out that was left by the seller. They took what they wanted, and what was left became ours. We're going to salvage and sell the personal property for additional profits. And now we're looking at the alley behind the property that leads into a nice metal 2-car garage.
And now you've seen the property a little bit and see what we had to deal with. We had estimated a rehab cost of about $15,000, including the cost of a new roof. And so we figured that the after rehab price would probably be around $85,000. That gave plenty of room for profit for both us and for a potential buyer. We used the resources that we now have available to go out and find some cash buyers. We made contacts through telephone and mail with some cash buyers, as well as a broker or two. And the day we closed in the acquisition, we had an offer on our desk for $25,000, all cash, from one of these contacts. We negotiated a little bit and moved the price up to $27,500 and closed 3 weeks to the day after we closed to purchase it. We closed on the sale, netting a profit of about $17,000 for about 2 months worth of work and holding the property for 3 weeks. This is the closing statement from when we purchased the property. You can see that we had a $500 earnest money deposit, and then it took an additional $7,600 to close. That, combined with a few $100s of holding costs, is where the $8,500 of acquisition cost came from. And this is the closing statement from 3 weeks later, where we sold the property. $27,500 was the sale price, but we had a closing costs, and there was a commission that we paid to a broker who helped us out, and we netted just over $26,000 on the closing, and that minus the $8,500 is where the $17,500 of gross profit came from.